I get to be here with our new district superintendent and just doing our first little interview on you in this role and in this transition time. What's maybe something that you've come to realize is a little different than you expected about being the district superintendent?
Well, several things different, but the most dramatic change that I kind of almost initially felt and experienced was the schedule change. And for the most part, what stood out immediately was Sunday morning schedule. When I was pastoring for all those years, I was always up so early. My mind was going about what was going to happen that day and preparation and whatever. And toward the end of my pastoring, I was preaching 3 Sunday morning services at that time. And I was just up early thinking, preparing, getting ready, whatever. Now, of course, I've done some preaching at various churches as I've traveled around. But initially, Dawn and I have wanted to just visit the churches and listen to the pastor preach and just enjoy the service. And so that part has been very different for us. It's been a change, but in some ways a welcome change. We've enjoyed it. What we've discovered as we've traveled around and visited the churches is that every church is so unique, has its own particular ministry in that community. The pastors are doing great work there. They're diligent, hardworking, doing the best they can to reach out into their community. And we've just been blessed by the opportunity to visit so many different churches. We never, when you're pastoring, you get vacation, you go somewhere else, some other state or whatever, you might visit a church. But we just haven't had the opportunity to visit the other Nazarene churches on the district like we have in the past few months.
Yeah, as you've been doing that, what is maybe something on the other side that you've missed stepping out of a lead pastor role into the DS role?
Well, it would revolve around the same thing. When you're in a new church or a different church every single Sunday, and you're worshiping with people that you don't know, or preaching to people that you don't know. In the times that I've preached in some of the churches, it's so unusual to look out at faces, and you might know a few of them, but you don't know the vast majority of them, which is so different from when you're pastoring. When you're looking out at people that you know, and you're sharing life with them on a weekly basis, but just coming in and visiting and being somewhere else the next week, that's been quite a change for us.
Yeah. As you've been in this role now, you've been having to travel probably a little more than
Yes.
ever before.
Yes.
What are some things that you're learning about how you want to travel and the challenges
Yes.
of just making it through all of those?
I think in the first 3 months, I think we drove about 8 or 9,000 miles in the first 3 months. It's trailed off a little bit in the last few weeks, thankfully. But that's been different, of course. But as I try to plan our schedule out a few months in advance. And of course, I try to be strategic about that. For example, the weekend that we're going to be up in Prescott for Pastors Retreat in January, I'm going to try to visit a church close by, probably Prescott Valley Church, because we've already been to Prescott First Church. In a couple of weeks, we have to go out to San Diego for a new district superintendent meeting. There are 5 new superintendents just on the Point Loma or the Southwest region. And so that is quite unusual from what they tell me. And so they've scheduled a meeting for us in mid-November for the superintendents on the region to kind of get to know each other a little better. So, for example, before that meeting starts on Monday, we're gonna go to one of the churches in Yuma on Sunday, which is kind of gets us partway to San Diego. So, little things like that. We're trying not to go from the corners, Las Vegas down to, Bisbee, and we're trying to be strategic about where we're going and as we're traveling, and trying to, do multiple things when we're in an area if we can. But yeah, but we're getting used to our car
Yeah.
and enjoying. But we're enjoying traveling and seeing parts of Arizona that we've never seen before.
As you were praying about and dreaming about and thinking about taking on this role on the district before the vote, before the district assembly, what were some of the things that you were maybe most excited about transitioning into this leadership type space that you might be able to bring into that role? Uh,
Well, I think probably the thing that prepared me best for this role was, of course, simply being a pastor for 30 plus years. And I grew up in a pastor's home. My dad was a pastor for 44 years. I just love being around pastors. And so spending time with pastors, and of course, one of our primary, priorities is trying to encourage pastors. And so I just love being with pastors and spending time with them, trying to help them or advise them as best I can. Most of the time when we visit churches, we just get to spend time and learn about the pastors. We're in the beginning stages of that. But, obviously when you're trying to encourage, what you often receive is encouragement back. And that's certainly been the case for us. We want to be a blessing to others, but, when you try to do that, you end up receiving so much more. And we found that to be true.
that's good.
Yeah.
In these first, 5 months or so, what have been some of the bigger challenges that you've had to navigate through?
Well, conflict, of course, is always a big challenge when churches are experiencing conflict or some form of dysfunction. And I've had a few of those meetings where that were challenging. But the Lord has helped us, and I'm grateful for what we've been able to see accomplished. It's always painful when pastors are in crisis or churches are in crisis, and sadly, many times it's not addressed until it's so far gone. And so I want to help churches before they get to that point if I can. And so, whoever's listening to this, if you're facing a rough patch, please reach out to me. Let me know. I'll come and help you as best I can, and we'll seek the Lord's wisdom together. But there have been a few challenging situations. But overall, in the months that we've been doing this, we've been greatly encouraged by what we see happening in the churches and the ministry that's taking place. It's unique in every situation. Every community is different, and they're reaching into that community in so many different ways. It's been exciting for us to see that.
Just in closing, what is something as you're looking forward to the next, half year or so that we have before assembly? What are you looking forward to the most as you look forward?
Well, I'm looking forward to Pastors Retreat in January when we get together. That's going to be a great time. So I'm hoping as many of the pastors can come as possible. Just being together, we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the speaker's going to be great. Music's going to be great, But just being together is going to be super, so that we can get to know each other a little better. I'm looking forward to visiting the other churches. I'm busy trying to get to as many churches as I can. It's impossible to get to all of them in 1 year. Because most of the time the only opportunity to be there is, typically is a Sunday morning. There are a few other chances to be there, but generally that's it. But I'm looking to district assembly and the big times when we're all together, church teams conference, other things, when we can be together as a team, the Arizona pastoral team, and lay ministers and lay leaders in churches. That's always exciting when we can be together. So I'm looking forward to those big events, and looking forward to projecting out to district assembly, already thinking about what that's going to look like, how it may be different. Of course, we've already chosen the place. It's going to be in Glendale, at the Glendale, or the Haven Church, it's now called. And so we're looking forward to a great time together.
Yeah, be good.
Yep.
Well, thanks for taking a little bit of time and just
Yep.
updating everybody on where we're at, and we'll do more of these as we move
Thanks,
forward.
Matt. Thank you.